ready to go. So we'll go ahead and get started, guys. Happy Monday to everybody. I'm glad everybody's here. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I had to work. We all know how long weekends are, but we also know how quick they are too. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. We'll go ahead and get started here in just a minute. I see emojis here. Our guests are here. Everybody coming in. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Thank you for the gifts. So good to see y'all. Emojis here, brother. We're ready when you are. Let's go ahead and get started. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Emoji, thank you, brother. I appreciate that intro as always, man. Thank you so much for putting in the time and energy and effort into that, man. I really appreciate that. Guys, please be sure to hit emoji with the favorite at the bottom. He has a YouTube channel. He records a lot of shows on the app. He certainly just puts in a lot of time and energy and effort in that. So, guys, please check him out when you get a chance. He just does a lot of amazing things for a lot of people in the app. So it's really, really awesome. Guys, if you're new here, this is a show that we do every single Monday night. It's called Gratitude, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. The show's about finding people who wish to show more thanks during their life. You know, each week we have two guests that recall circumstances, people, and memories that have humbled them, you know, that help them reflect and grow through the act of gratitude. And I just wanted to thank you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you being here and, you know, supporting what we're doing. Also want to just mention too, guys, there's a lot of people on the app, a lot of people that have shows, fellow content creators that certainly put a lot of time, work, energy, and effort into what they are doing. And so if you get an opportunity, guys, Monday through Thursday, please check out the trending at the top. Please also check out the banners. You'll see a lot of amazing shows. There's cooking shows, there's dating shows, there's shows just about general questions. You know, there's just a lot. There's dancing shows. There's just a lot of awesome content on the app. So if you get an opportunity, guys, just please try to support these people. Just pop in for 5 minutes, say what's up, see what they're doing, show your love and support in the best way you can. I know that a lot of people would appreciate that. So, guys, just to let you know, that was the show. This is what we're talking about. We always like to start the show off every single week with a quote. And this week's quote, guys, is this. And we'll get into the new topic later on tonight. I'm really excited to get into this. So, without reflection, we go blindly on our way, creating more unintended consequences and failing to achieve anything useful. Let me read that one more time. Without reflection, we go blindly on our way, creating more unintended consequences and failing to achieve anything useful. So that's going to be a really interesting topic. I'm excited to get into that. But we also like to do reflection on last week's topic with a new perspective and a new guest every single week. And at this time, I wanted to talk about disappointments and welcome Miss Ashley Ann to the box at this time if you want to request it. I'm super excited to get into the conversation with her. And this is just, guys, I'm just really excited about it tonight. I really, really am. Miss Ashley Ann, how are you? Welcome,
how
welcome.
Are you?
So good. Thank you so much for being here. It's certainly a pleasure to have you on here. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule and your busy life to be here. It's just certainly an honor and a privilege to have you attend.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that, honestly. I'm really excited because when you brought this topic up, it's something that really does speak to me. So I kind of felt like this was the perfect the perfect show. I don't really talk too much about, like what I'd been through, like,
Right.
things that I've experienced, but it definitely hits really close for me. And I kind of felt like this would be like a good opportunity to, share with others and to, show people how you can be grateful through your disappointments.
Absolutely. And I think, obviously, we all are streamers. We all are a part of everybody's life in a lot of different ways, of course. And I think it's always wonderful to be able to talk about vulnerability in a way that, like my show is, where we can talk about being grateful, even though, we may go through some negative situations in our life, that we can certainly be positive, in the outcome and certainly our perspective and how we look at things, of course. So,
Definitely.
for anybody that's not familiar with you, if you kind of want to just introduce yourself, kind of let us get a little bit into your world, a little bit into your life, and the floor is yours.
Yes. So my name is Miss Ashley Ann. I've been streaming now for about a year. I started when COVID started, and I dove right in. Like, I didn't really I didn't branch out too much, but I had met this group of people and I became really close with them, and it just kind of helped me out because I am single and I don't have children. So everybody, when COVID first happened, everybody was like really tight with their families, and they're getting closer. And for me, who lives alone and who also works from home now, it's very isolating for me.
Yeah.
So it was really good for me to kind of still have that social interaction and that face-to-face with people that I'm so used to, because I am such a socially active person. So it's definitely helped me. And I met so many amazing people on this app. I met one of my best friends on this app. And, it's crazy to call someone like your best friend when you've never been able to actually meet in person, but we've become so close. There she is right there, Miss Hint of Hazel.
Yeah.
You become so close with these people, and they learn about your life and, things that you've experienced. And it's really nice to have such an amazing support system.
It really is, and it makes a tremendous difference. Even though we may not, and the same experience for me, I'm sure is very similar. Where I've met a lot of amazing people on the app that I have not necessarily met in real life, but it certainly doesn't mean that your relationship with them is not as important.
Exactly.
You can generate and create a lot of wonderful friendships, a lot of wonderful relationships through interaction on the app, off the app, and you realize certainly that these people are just so impactful and so important into your everyday life that it makes a tremendous difference. And so when you think about those kind of things, you think about how it is when you're actually going to meet these people for the first time.
Oh my gosh! Look out, world!
Right, exactly. And it just puts such a great and huge smile on so many different people's faces, because relationships are so different, and they can be so close on a lot of different levels. And I think that a lot of people that have experienced that themselves can really, really appreciate that same mindset as you and I, and certainly I'm sure a lot of other people do.
Yeah. So I guess we'll get into my my story of
So guys, as we were kind of just reflecting on the topic of disappointment, I know that a lot of times people their mind kind of goes to disappointment as a negative thing.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, especially for myself, but it's the perspective. I think a lot of times is disappointments can certainly bring you to a different place in your life.
Definitely.
Letdowns, at the beginning can, hit you a little bit different, but the outcome, can certainly make you a lot more mindful. It can make you grow as a person. You might grow up a little bit. You may not necessarily be in that situation anymore. And, that was kind of what I was wanting to, kind of dive into with you about is, when you've experienced disappointments, or when you hear that phrase or that word, what really comes to your mind? What really resonates with you when you hear that?
When I think of disappointments, like before, I would think of, why is this happening to me? Why is this situation? You feel disappointed in many things in life, unfortunately. That's part of life, you're not always going to be happy. Not everything's always going to go your way. And, that's going to create disappointments. For me, I was in a really terrible car accident, and I shattered every bone in my foot and ankle. And I had compound fractures. So if for people that aren't familiar with like medical situations, that's where like the bones actually, came through my skin. So I was in this horrible position, and I was given two options. They gave me the option to, try for reconstruction and revisions, They did tell me that it would be a significant, recovery. They gave me this, heads up. And, I was disappointed when I heard that. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like all these surgeries, like, I don't know if I can do this. And then they gave me a second option. They said, we can amputate your leg now. You can learn to walk again and, go on your way. But, you'll still have challenges. It'll still be difficult. You'll still, there's negatives and there's going to be situations on both sides. So, of course, it was really disappointing that the only news and options that I had been given were, very negative experiences. And it was something that was going to be very painful, unfortunately for me to go through. And, it was the first time that I ever had to go through something truly painful, sober also. So I, for the first year, it was difficult. I was, fighting my insurance for, extra things that I needed for my recovery. I was originally told that it was only going to be 3 surgeries. That turned out to 6 surgeries, and I've got a 7th surgery coming up. So it's disappointing completely along the entire road, because you feel like, when is this going to stop? Why is this happening to me? Why is this going to continue, going on? Like, and you feel disappointed. But I look at it as this situation actually broke me in the most beautiful way, because I've become so much stronger, so much more confident in myself. I've learned the value of being grateful, for every small thing that happens. And that first year was it was pure hell. I was in a terrible situation. I was in a horrible situation in a relationship. And I just was feeling so down and depressed. And I couldn't get through it, honestly. And I was so disappointed, honestly. I was disappointed that, in my insurance. I was disappointed in my, the support system that I had around me. And I just, I couldn't get through it. And then one day I just said, I can't do this anymore. And I flipped my perspective and I said, I'm going to find one thing every single day that's positive and be grateful for that. Yeah. And even if it was like something so simple as meeting a nurse that was nice to me, like that is something that I would sit there and I would dwell on that for the entire day the next day, just thinking over and over and over again how nice it felt to have somebody just be kind to me. And I became grateful. Honestly, I became very grateful that this happened, because like I said, the person that I am now is so much more humble, so much more appreciative. I'm so glad that it happened, because if it didn't, I don't know if I would be the person that I am now. Right. And it gets me choked up to say that, because,
as it should. Yeah. Because
how can someone be so grateful for something so terrible that happened? And, people ask, if you could drive a different direction, would you go back? Would you have it amputated if you could? And I tell them no, because if I hadn't, then the road that I had to experience and the strength that I had to overcome this situation in the time that I did, I would not be the person that I am now. And I'm such a better person having been through that. I mean, I truly feel like it broke me in the most beautiful way.
Yeah. And that's, you don't even know what to say to that, because it's made you who you are today. And that's just an amazing, amazing person. Guys, if you're new to the show, this is called Gratitude. This is a show that we do every single Monday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And we just talk to people about things that they're grateful for, circumstances, people, situations in their life that have humbled them, and they are able to help reflect through the act of gratitude. And we're talking to Miss Ashley right now about a situation and a story that she had experienced in her life, and going through so many different surgeries and so many trials that she had to deal with in her personal life. And I just thank you for being so vulnerable and honest to share that. I mean, like you said, you go through things like that in your life. You don't see your life being in that spot. Mm-hmm. You look at other people and like, man, that's a tough place to be. It's hard for me to understand that, because I've never been that. But then you get in that situation yourself, and it, to your point and to your own life and your experience, it helps you appreciate it. It makes you very grateful for what you have in life. I mean, like you said, as you were going through the surgeries, as you were talking to the nurses and things like that, you had to hang on to something every single day that made you appreciative, made you aware, made you just be very, just thankful for what, you could have gone through, because the situation, like you said, it could have been way worse. It could have
Yeah.
taken a completely different turn. And,
Mhm.
you see where you are now. You have certainly just become an amazing person. For you to be able to have the kind of strength and, I certainly have a lot of admiration and a lot of respect for somebody to go through that, because, like I was saying, if you're not ever in that situation before, it's hard to understand, but you can certainly still sympathize and have a lot of compassion
Yeah.
for people that go through tough things. And I think that that's just a huge testament to who you are as a person.
And something that I also learned, because, when it happened, private health insurance, I didn't have private health insurance for the first time in a very long time. And I had to go to a county hospital because that was, where they fix traumatic injuries like that. So then afterwards, at a county hospital, traditionally that's where, our poor, like the poorest of poor, the people that cannot afford health care in any way, that cannot afford to go to a doctor, that, or a lot of them are homeless, or they're, on the verge of being homeless. And I met all of these people in there, and I'm sitting there, and they've just got these smiles on their face at the clinics. And every time you go back to the clinic to have your follow-up work done after surgery, and you're seeing these people, and they're just so grateful to be able to be seen and to be heard, and to have their feelings and their pain actually treated, because they've been going through this for so long. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, I have lived such a privileged life that I have never had to experience that I've never had to experience going a long period of time waiting for major medical care that I need. And so I met this, oh my God, I met this incredible woman, and I swear, like, she is the one that changed everything, because she sat there and she told me how thankful she was to have this hospital. And I'm thinking, like, gosh, this is terrible. This is a horrible situation that I'm in. Like, these doctors are, they're so quick and so blunt with you. They have no bedside manner. And I'm thinking, like, how could somebody be grateful for this? And then she started to tell me her story and all of the things that she had been through and all of that pain. And I'm sitting here like, what kind of selfish person am I, that I am not grateful for the fact that I even have these doctors working on me like this? And so it was like very soon after that I changed my perspective. And I still go back and I see my surgeon all the time. He's not my surgeon anymore, but that first surgeon, I still go and see him. I keep up with him. I let him know what's going on, because when I did get private insurance, I went back to them, and I said, I need a surgeon. I'm still having problems, but I have insurance now. And they referred me to this surgeon, and, they kept saying, like, you're non-surgical. Like, I don't think that there's anything we could do, but I was still in just this horrible pain. And this surgeon said, like, I'm going to do an exploratory surgery, and we're going to just see what we can figure out. And I am so grateful for him, because he gave me my life back 100%. Like, I couldn't walk. I was in so much pain, and he gave me my life. Like, I was able to walk again, and I never thought I was going to be able to walk again. So,
and that would make anybody grateful. I mean, look at you right now. You're a wonderful person. You've experienced a lot of things that a lot of normal people don't necessarily go through before. And you've, been very privileged and very grateful to have people around you to help you get through that, on top of not only having that, but, you being such an incredible and strong person. It certainly says a lot about just your life in general, you as a person, the people that you've had around you. And I mean, that's certainly something right there itself to be very grateful for.
Yeah.
Especially.
So I still, I make sure to thank him every single time I see him.
Absolutely.
Every single time I go back, or I'm able to do something that I couldn't do before, like walking an amusement park, or, just something simple that I've been able to do. I'm like, I just did this. Thank you so much. And I'm just so grateful to him, because he listened to me. All these other surgeons were like, you should have had it amputated. What were you thinking? And, they're putting me down about my decision, and he listened to me. Right. And, I was disappointed every single time that I had a surgeon, like, turn me away. I was disappointed, and I had to keep fighting. I had to keep going through the process, and I had to, do whatever I possibly could to find somebody that would just listen to me. And I am so grateful, honestly, that I did and that I didn't stop fighting, because my family, they treat me different than they did before. I was always the wild child, was always the black sheep, you know. And I would always been so privileged and so spoiled that, you know, I was treated differently, you know, and I took that for granted 100%. And I am so glad that this situation happened to me, honestly. And people like tell me all the time, that's crazy. How could you be grateful that something like that happened? And I said, you can't understand it until you've been broken and you have to go through something like that, where you don't have the option to give up. You don't have the option for somebody to bail you out of this situation. You have to do it. You have to go through this. Right. And I am so grateful that it did happen, honestly.
Yeah. And, you know, that certainly, just like I was saying earlier in the show, it just is a huge testament to you as a person, certainly the people that you've surrounded yourself with. And I think a lot of times people don't understand it only matters if it matters to you. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of people wouldn't understand that, you know, how could you want to say you want to go through that again, you know, or whatever the case may be, but, you know, you lived it, you've experienced it, you've gone through, you know, the trenches, and you've been able to see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's made you and shaped you and molded you into the person that you are today. And I think that should be someone that you should, I'm sure, are very grateful and proud of as the person that you've become and the person that you will continue to be. That was kind of what I was wanting to ask you is, as you've gone through that situation, if you've gone through that disappointment in your life and you have the perspective where now you can kind of take a couple steps back and look at that, how does that for you change your road and your journey in your life? How does that make you as you move forward, as you kind of head in a different part maybe in your life or a different direction? What perspective or what theory does that really put in your mind that really stands out?
You know, for me, I no longer sweat the small things.
Okay.
Like the difficult things that like the day-to-day things, like, oh my gosh, this person just cut me off, or, oh my gosh, this person's taking so long in front of me and I'm running late. You know, those like little things. I've learned that they don't matter, you know. It's not worth it to me anymore to put my energy into something that is not going to, you know, bring my spirits up or be positive. So I definitely, I don't see things as disappointments anymore. I see this of what can I take out of this situation and how can I, you know, implement this into my life to, you know, shape my perspective? What can I do to, you know, smile through this situation? Because I've been through way worse. So, you know, I mean, if I've been through that, I can get through anything. So why am I complaining? Yeah. So I try not to focus on those little things that you just can't change. And, you know, that comes with people, with situations, you know, with family and friends and, you know, all of these things. Unfortunately, you know, we don't have the power to make everything perfect all the time, but we have the power to think that, you know, it can always be better than the day before. Like for me, I read this book called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And one of the main agreements, he says, is always do your best, because your best is going to change from day to day. It's going to be different when you're healthy versus when you're, you know, sick. But if you always do your best, you're going to eliminate self-doubt and you're going to eliminate self-abuse. So if I just take things as, you know, a positive and what can I learn from this, then I'm going to 100%, you know, be able to get through it in a much healthier way, because I'm not going to sit there and be disappointed in the fact that maybe something didn't go exactly as planned, you know?
Yeah. And like you said, at the end of the day, it's perspective. It's not sweating the small things. It's knowing that, you know, I try to be a firm believer in the fact that, you know, the glass is not always half empty, you know, it can be half full. You know, and everything's not always going to be butterflies and clouds in the sky. But if you can continue to have the right attitude, you know, I know sometimes that's easier said than done, you know, when we're struggling or when we kind of deal with things in our life that we don't see that. But as we continue to try to have that right attitude and the right mindset and think that, hey, look, you know, tomorrow's a better day. I certainly have a lot to be grateful for. It doesn't take me very long to look around and see that there are a lot more people in way worse shape than I can be. And so, when you look at that and you take a couple steps back and say, hey, look, I'm very
Yeah,
appreciative, very grateful for that. It doesn't take much.
exactly.
Thank you so much for that story. Wow, that's a very intense story. Anything you kind of want to just share and close with anybody? Any kind of words of encouragement? Anything you want to just share with anyone?
I definitely encourage everybody to read the Four Agreements. It's an incredible book. It will definitely help shape your perspective and how you look at things. It will help you understand the things that you can't change in life, the things that are not worth your energy, how to, eliminate self-doubt, eliminate, disappointments, and, feeling frustrated with yourself. And I'm telling you, that book changed my life. It really did. So I just encourage everybody to pick up a copy, get a Kindle, get it on there, whatever you can do. Affliction, it's called The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. Vodka, thank you. It will definitely help you with your disappointments and being grateful. And yeah, just read. I'm telling everybody, read. It's
Yeah.
good for the soul. It will help you so much. So please, and also, just I want everybody to know that, not every bad situation that you go through is a bad situation. It's all about how you look at it and take what you can from the situation and how you can learn and grow, and just be proud of yourself for going through that.
I love it. I love it. I couldn't have said that any better myself. That's such a great attitude and great perspective to have. And I love your attitude. And certainly, like I said, with what you've been through in your life, you've become a wonderful person. And I'm very grateful and honored to have had the privilege to have met you and call you an acquaintance and a friend. And thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for being
I
here.
appreciate you all. Thank you all
Appreciate
for
it.
all the gifts, and I hope you have an amazing night. And I'm looking forward to recons.
Yes.
I can't wait to see how he brings his energy into this topic. And I love you all. Thank you so much for having me, Jamison. I really appreciate you. And, keep doing this amazing show, because I think this show is definitely needed on this app. So thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for being here. Guys, please hit Miss Ashley with the favorite. What a wonderful person. What a very humble and an amazing, honest person. I love that, guys. It's hard to, your heart just goes out to people that are in situations like that and experience, tough times in their life. And you just, it gives you an opportunity to just look at your own life and just be very grateful and very appreciative of what we do have. So, guys, like I said, if you're new here, this is a show that we do every single Monday night. It's a feature show. It's called Gratitude, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Please come check us out when you can. The show's about finding people who wish to show more thanks during their life. Each week we have, just two guests that recall circumstances, people, and memories that have humbled them. And, it helps them and myself especially to just reflect and grow through the act of gratitude. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. And again, please try to check out the people that are other fellow show and content creators that have shows Monday through Thursday on the app. Just pop in for just a few minutes, see what everybody's doing, just to say what's up, just to see if you can support them and just say, hey, look, I appreciate what you're doing, and just, try to be there for people in the best way you can. So, guys, thank you again for Miss Ashley being here. Just want to give her another shout out. That was a truly just incredible story, to just be that vulnerable and that honest, and for her to have gone through that stuff is just, it says a lot about her as a person and the people that have been in her life especially. So that was disappointments. Guys, we're going to go ahead and switch gears to this week's topic. And this is going to be a new topic that, I've thought about, and I'm sure other people think about it too, when we go through things in life or circumstances and situations that are tough, or maybe, things just don't necessarily go our way. Self-reflection. So we're going to talk to that tonight. And at this time, I'm going to welcome Mr. Recon to the box if you want to request that. This guy is just a wonderful dude. Please try to check out his streams. He's full of energy. He's just a all-around stand-up guy. And I just want to welcome to the box at this time. Yo, what's going on, brother? Happy Monday to you,
Just
man.
relaxing. How are you?
Good, man. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you are a busy guy. You probably got a lot of different things and wear a lot of different hats and things on your plate. So I just appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Yeah. For anybody that is not familiar with you, I'm sure you've created a really awesome following, and you have a lot of people that support you on the app. If you just kind of want to share a little bit about your story for people that are unfamiliar with you.
Yeah, I haven't quite hit my 1 year on here. October 1st will be my 1 year on here. What brought me on the app was literally kind of the same thing that Ash said. Like, I'm a social butterfly. I like to be around people, and I get excited to see others excited. So it was a really good fit for me when I got on here.
Yeah.
Other than that, like, I'm a Canadian. There's not too many of us that are even on the app all over. There's more and more each day, which is really nice. And I don't know, it's been so humbling and so great. Lots of excitement, lots of ups, lots of downs, lots of transparency that you go through and you endure on the app as the days go on. But I don't know, man. The app has just really changed my life for a lot of good reasons. Absolutely.
Yeah, and to your point and to Ashley's as well, I think for me especially, it's been a very life-changing and altering thing as well. To be able to meet a lot of different people from different walks of life, and I think that certainly, let me put it a different way. I think that there have been people that have brought a lot of wonderful qualities out of me as a person, and I hope that I've been able to do that for other people as well, because I think it's all just a give and take. I think it's important to, what you put in with people's relationships is what you get out. And I think that's, certainly something that I've been able to accomplish in, the 10 months that I've been on here. So I'm glad to hear that that's brought a lot of joy and happiness into your life for sure. When you think about self-reflection, man, I know that when I jumped in your stream earlier
when you asked me to be on the show, and you kind of made me, what kind of a topic you're going to think about and talk about, I thought about, when you're thinking about gratitude, I don't think you're actually fully grateful until you go through self-reflection within yourself. You go and you look at all those experiences, all the ups and downs, and you really reflect on the avenues that you took either in your past or each and every day, right? So for me, after we kind of talked and through the last few days here, I've really been thinking about what self-reflection have I been doing in myself, and what are key points in my life that I'm grateful for. And it really, it took me back to my youth. A big part of my youth is kind of a foggy haze. I lived always on the run, on the go, ups and downs, drugs and alcohol, living the life of a rock star, traveling all over the world, not a care in the world, right? And now as I'm older and I look back at those moments and those times and living without cause or anything like that, I never really was grateful for it. Like, all those memories and all those places I've been, I was never really present in them, right? So now as I'm older and I want to see all these things, I'm looking at it in a different view, so to speak. When I was younger, even now, even in the last couple of years, you're traveling to go places and see people, but then it always seems like you're not really focused on what you want, but what everybody else is doing and what they want, right? So you fall into a pattern of, holy crap, I went to this place that I really wanted to go to, but was I even really there? So the self-reflection for me comes back to being present in the moment and what you intentionally went into it for.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I think I lost that a lot along the way.
And I think it's easy to do for a lot of people. I've been in situations before in my own personal life where, I think for me, in situations that I've been in before, you look at yourself and you say, are you alive or are you just breathing? And I think that you made a great point was, when you were talking about you didn't really have a cause, you're kind of doing different things. Yeah. You're kind of, going and doing and things of that nature. But when you don't have a perspective and a cause for that, it's like you're just existing.
Exactly. Like, I'll put this one into a picture for you. Like, when I was younger, I traveled to Paris, France, right? Okay. I went to the Louvre, I saw the Mona Lisa, I went to all the great monuments, I did all the things, traveled to Amsterdam. But then I look back at these pictures and it all seems so blank, like there's no memory there, So I'm really grateful to be able to have some self-reflection on that now. So moving forward, I can learn to appreciate things better. I I read this one thing earlier. It's like self-reflection is ability to witness and evaluate our own cognitive, emotional behavior and process, right? And by doing that, it allows you to be grateful for the things that are, well, quite frankly, shit in your life and in your life, right? You can't always just be grateful for the good things, because a lot of bad things lead you and bring you to who you are today. And you know, like I was a drug addict for 10 years, and yes, I've had slip ups, but I've had slip ups not thinking about me, but thinking about others. You know, I want to be fun. I want to go out there. I want to be a part of everything. I don't want to be the guy that's like, no, you know what I mean? And that's where not being grateful for going through those things, and, you know, reflecting on those past experiences will get you into trouble in the future.
Yeah, it really will. Yeah, and I mean, you know, man, you just hit the nail on the head with that, because, you know, I've been in situations too, and it was kind of to Ashley's point about disappointments. You know, you can go through a really rough situation, a really bad spot in life, and it really can disappoint you, whether it's a relationship with someone, whether it's a job opportunity, whether it's, you know, friendships that you have with people that don't necessarily work out in your favor. Those are disappointments. But as you go through that and you have the right perspective on where you want to be, the person you want to become, or whatever the case may be, that's where the self-reflection happens, I think. Especially.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. And it's not always, you know, we always go into self-reflection and thoughts about what happened to us, right? But if you're really reflecting on what has happened, what's happening now is only going to be a reflection of how you see it. You know what I mean? Wow. So by moving forward and actually reflecting on your downfalls, your successes, and the relationships and you know, the trials and tribulations you go through in your life, it really opens up your eyes to be grateful. Because you know what, Jamison, before you asked me to be on this show, I didn't really give myself the proper time of self-reflection over the last few years. And it really opened my eyes to focus on, you know, what really truly matters. And I think that's just always being yourself and accepting yourself for your failures and your successes, and working on your failures more than your successes, because what you're successful in now is only going to be dragged down for what your faults are. You know what I mean? Like, you're only going to be held back by those faults. And if you can't realize and reflect on how that affects your attitude and your positivity going into every day, well, you're always going to be living on a whim, on a run, bouncing from place to place, relationships, people, parties, you know, and you're going to miss all those moments, those memories, and that time you're never going to get back without really being present.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, man, that's where it comes into just living. You know, it comes into, you know, just, you know, I think sometimes people can be very hard or critical on themselves. Yeah. You know, with self-reflection. I think sometimes people also can be very critical of other people, because, you know, sometimes you can say, well, this person's that way or this person's this way. Well, you know what? You can also say, well, guess what? They have a lot of good qualities too.
Absolutely.
You have to look at that as a self-reflection, and you can look at that as yourself too, because it's like, you know, if you can see some of those things in other people where you feel like that they may need to work in certain areas, you know, you can have a couple fingers come back your way and say, hey, look, dude, you know, there's some things in here too that maybe I can fix a little bit, you know. And I think sometimes, you know, when you go through disappointments and you go through, you know, an opportunity to have self-reflection, I think that is when it can really hit different, and it makes you, like you said, you don't think about things for a little while, and then you kind of sit down and think of the topic, and it's like, man, I just have a whole different perspective on what I'm really going through. Guys, if you're new here, this is a show that we do every single Monday night. It's called Gratitude, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Please try to come check us out every single week. We have different topics. The show's about just showing thanks during people's lives through the act of gratitude. We have 2 guests every single week. They think about, you know, situations, circumstances, people that have humbled them and helped them reflect through the act of gratitude. And we're just sitting here talking to Recon about, you know, how important it is to have self-reflection, and certainly the wonderful things that he shared about, you know, his own life and things that he's experienced. Man, when you kind of, like you said, when you were living before and you didn't feel like you had a purpose, or you didn't feel like you had a cause for what you were doing, what do you do now as you've kind of gone through the self-reflection? What's the perspective that you have now when you've kind of looked at yourself or had an opportunity to do that and sit back and kind of process that information?
Honestly, I think because okay, big time, this is a huge one right here of self-reflection for me and realization. You know, over the time from when I was about 15 years old, I was selling drugs and living a life for about 11 years. And I had gone from having everything to losing everything to having everything again and losing it all over again. And you know, I finally fixed that, went to a place in Destin, Florida, and I was successful, and it was great, and I was living the life, and I was happy, healthy, sober, and I kind of lost track of that because of situations. I always wanted to impress. You know, we always want to impress everybody. You know what I mean? But I think the only person that truly I ever need to impress is myself. And I think by reflecting on those moments in my life, that allows me to be grateful for who I am today, not for who I was or the shit that I did or the hard times that I went through. I appreciate those because it actually gives me the heart and the mind and the thought that I have now today, which is, you know, heavy on honesty and heavy on truth and respect, because I lived a life for so long of lies, deceit, and in that scene that when I start to see those things encircle around and stuff like that, I'll stand up against it. You know what I mean? And sometimes tough love is real love, and that's the way the world should work. You know?
You couldn't have said any better yourself. I think a lot of times when you're honest with yourself, it gives you a better opportunity to be honest with other people.
Yes.
I think that that's an amazing quality to have. I think it's certainly something that is a learned ability. As you go through life, you go through disappointments, you go through self-reflection, to just, you know, be honest with yourself. Mm-hmm. And it opens up so many different opportunities and doors with other people.
Absolutely.
To be honest with them. And then, you know, they have to take you for who you are. You know, not everybody's the same. We all have different personalities. We all come from different backgrounds. You know, not everybody was raised the same way. Nope. And I think that, you know, it's great to see the differences and similarities in people in so many different ways.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anything you kind of want to add, man, in closing with anybody for,
you know what,
any kind of words of encouragement or anything you want to leave?
Actually, I do, you guys. Okay, you know what? This one really, thank you for the tacos. This one really goes to about, you know, trying to impress everybody and being yourself, right? There's, you know, you can be yourself and impress everybody just being yourself, right? Sure. I found this quote, and I know you always start with a quote. So can I end up with a message?
Go ahead, brother. Floor's yours. Right.
Okay. It's about medicine, y'all. Don't give them a taste of your own medicine or of their own medicine. They already know what it tastes like. Give them a taste of your own medicine. If they lied, let your medicine be honesty. If they played with your emotions, let your medicine be maturity. If they broke you, let your medicine heal. If they made you cry, let your medicine make them smile. These remedies of yours may take years to work on, y'all, but they work and they last. So be patient, stay true to yourself, and remember this. It is better for people to value you for who you are, not for who you pretend to be. Who you are lasts a lifetime. Who you pretend to be changes like the change in the seasons. Don't be afraid of yourself, even if it means removing yourself from lives that you want to be in. You are, no doubt, worthy of being valued for who you are. So stay true to who you are. Facts.
I love it.
I like that one. That one.
Thank you so much for being here, man. Thank you so much for being honest and vulnerable. I appreciate you again for being here. Guys, please hit Mr. Recon on the favorite. Check him out anytime he goes live. Often support him in the best way you can. And, you know, just, you know, he's a lit man. Believe it like that. He's a lit man for sure. Thank you, man.
You're lit, Doc. Hello?
Thank you, man. Wow. Guys, what a show. Oh, my goodness. What a show tonight. Just two wonderful guests, two completely different situations, two completely different topics, two completely different circumstances, and just two amazing people. So, guys, please favorite them. Recon is in here. I don't know if Miss Ashley's still hanging around or not. She may be here or not, but please hit her with a favorite. Please hit Raycon with a favorite. And guys, thank you so much for being here and supporting the show. Just to kind of reflect with the audience one more time, we were talking about disappointments. You know, guys, if you want to think about that and and think about disappointments in your life, try to be grateful for that. Things can get better. There she is right there. Thank you for being here. If things can get better, it's not always going to be, rough all the time, but, have the right perspective and things will get better. Let me just share that quote with you one more time. And as we were finishing up self-reflection recon, without reflection, we go blindly on our way, creating more unintended consequences and failing to achieve anything useful. Without reflection, we go blindly on our way, creating more unintended consequences and failing to achieve anything useful. That hits a little bit different, guys. Guys, thank y'all so much for being here. Now we can respond to the comments. I don't want anybody to think that we were not, listening or paying attention, but, out of respect for the guests and the people that we have on, we just try to engage in the conversation. But thank you guys for being just an amazing supporting cast of audience and things like that. We love it. We really absolutely love it. Guys, next week's topic, we'll leave you with that, is fresh starts. That's the topic we're going to be. If you want to hit me up right here at the top, you can add me on Instagram. If you're interested in ever being on the show, hit me up. But that's the topic we're going to go with, is fresh starts. And I'm just excited to get into that. A lot of us sometimes go through situations in life where, we need a fresh start. We need a second chance, or whatever the case would be. So that's what we're going to go with next week, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Let's go. All right, guys. Wow. Let me change this photo, guys. Thank you so much. Let me change this really quick, and I'll listen to what everybody else is saying. Let's go. Thank you. Thank you. Let me change this really quick, and yeah, we'll go with that, guys. What a show, man! What a show, yo, Smokins. What's up, Chica, Recon? Thank you, brother. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Let's get some music going or something. What a show, man. Wow, I appreciate you guys supporting this every single week. It means the world. Thank you guys for being here. Yes, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Hold on a second. Let's get some music going, guys. Recon, Ashley, thank y'all. Thank y'all. Oh my gosh. What a show tonight, man. What a show tonight. Oh my God, who's all up in here? Guys, what's up? What's up? Man. Hello, hello, guys. Happy Monday. Who's still up in here?